divine intervention has a way, well, of intervening itself. Exactly 12 days ago, Jagdeep Dhankhar was at the needlessly vilified Jawaharlal Nehru University. He was asked about his retirement. And that is where he rather dramatically told his audience that he will remain the Vice President till the last day of office, that is August 2027, subject to divine intervention. Now, no one is quite sure what divine intervention knocked at the VP's door on Monday night as he posted his resignation on X, but his hush-hush resignation has done two things, ladies and gentlemen. One, it has the rumor mills buzzing because no one is buying the health reasons being cited. And two, it has ensured that his JNU speech has gone viral. Listen in to what in retrospect sounds like Mr. Dhankar tempting fate.
Please, now you may retire. I will retire at the right time. August 2027, subject to divine intervention.
Not sure if it was divine intervention, but something certainly did happen on day one of the monsoon session that pushed the Vice President to put in his papers. Now, officially, he has mentioned health reasons and medical advice in his letter to the President. But no one, absolutely no one is buying it, certainly not the opposition. After all, 74-year-old Dhankar was his jolly self in the morning presiding over the Rajya Sabha. Yes, he did have a couple of fainting spells in public this year itself, and there was a heart procedure 2 months ago at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, but that had hardly stopped him. In fact, an official release about his trip to Rajasthan had been released over the weekend. So question now is, what happened between 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. that made the Vice President of India take an unprecedented step? The opposition is smelling something very fishy.
It's definitely surprising. It looks like a Soviet-style midnight resignation. In the old Soviet Union, high-ranking officials used to resign, citing mysterious health reasons. And everybody who's been watching the functioning of the Vice President clearly know that he had no apparent serious health ailment. In fact, he was functioning yesterday. In fact, his travel plans for the next few days have also been announced. So this is not a reason which anybody buys. But this is a government which works in shadows. So it's very difficult to find out what the true reason is.
This doesn't somehow ring true simply because he was very actively conducting the parliamentary proceedings yesterday. What was the sudden reason for his decision to cite health and step down? And this probably is the first time in history that a Vice President has resigned in such a shocking manner. So I'm hoping that we would get to know more when the Parliament session begins. But what is most important is that there should be no disruption in the proceedings of the House.
I think we're all concerned about his health, no? It's very sad that he's got this sudden health issue.
But
so our best wishes for his recovery.
Congress and opposition is saying that it is not a health issue, sir.
Why he has resigned? It's a politically motivated resignation.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Strange are the ways of politics, ladies and gentlemen. It was only 6 months ago that the opposition had moved an impeachment motion against the Vice President for his biased behavior in the Rajya Sabha. Now this very opposition wants him to reconsider his resignation. The BJP says the opposition is needlessly playing politics over Dhankar's health.
Somebody is resting, अब उस पर भी आप राजनीति कर रहे हैं, मतलब हद हो गई। राजनीति का लेवल दिन ब दिन नीचे गिरता जा रहा है।
लेकिन विपक्ष का सवाल ये इसलिए है,
अरे विपक्ष तो क्या सवाल करता है, हमको समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है। विपक्ष का सवाल ही किसी को पूरा देश बाल खजवाने लगता है। विपक्ष कौन सवाल करता है, मेरे को आज तक मुझे समझ में नहीं आता।
बहुत ही एक तरह से देखेंगे कि उनके प्रति जो है वो थैंकफुल है कि उन्होंने अपना वक्त अपनी सेवाएं जो है वो देश के लिए दी, पार्लियामेंट के लिए, सदन के लिए दी, तो उसके लिए हम सदा उनके आभारी रहेंगे।
Ladies and gentlemen, Franklin D. Roosevelt, an American president, had once famously said that in politics, nothing happens by accident. If it happens, you can bet it was planned that way. Question is, who planned Mr. Dhankar's midterm exit? Was it the good Lord above, or was it planned by the BJP government? Now, here is the inside story that has gained the most traction in the last 24 hours. Sources are telling Times Network that relations between the government and the Vice President soured very rapidly after the VP moved on the impeachment of Justice Verma in the Rajya Sabha based on a motion by 63 opposition MPs, not a single BJP MP, only 63 opposition MPs. Now, the government was taken by surprise because they wanted the motion to be a bipartisan one originating in the Lok Sabha. Come to think of it, why would any government want the opposition to steal the thunder on anti-corruption? So understandably, they were upset with Mr. Dhankar. Now, what made matters worse was two government ministers, Kiran Rijiju and JP Nadda, not showing up for the business advisory meeting that reportedly left the VP fuming. Was this a snub? Things seem to have escalated from there on. Mr. Dhankar resigned. The Prime Minister put out a cryptic and impersonal tweet wishing him well 15 hours later. And rumour mills haven't stopped working since then. Did Mr. Dhankar resign on his own, or was he asked to resign? I'm putting that question to my guest this evening, all the while wishing Mr. Dhankar very well and all the very best. Manish Bariyar, thank you very much, political analyst joining us. A caveat here to our viewers as always, an invite was sent to the BJP to participate in the show. They are not speaking on the subject. That is what was officially communicated to us. So Manish Bariyar, hopefully you will be speaking on the BJP's behalf. Good evening. JVC Sriram, thank you very much. Political strategist joining us on the broadcast as well. Sujata Paul, good evening. Spokesperson of the Congress Party, good to see you. And Dr. Saeed Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK. Thank you very much. Who should I start with? Sujata Paul ji, can I ask you this? Now the man is 74. The man is saying, look, I'm unwell. I've been medically advised to take rest. So based on my health conditions, I'm putting in my resignation. Why can't we take that resignation at face value? Why all these conspiracy theories about, impeachment motion, siding with the opposition, etc., that all of you have been floating in the last 24 hours?
Good evening, Shreya, to all your panelists and to your audiences, and it's great to be on your show again. As far as the Honorable Vice President's health is concerned, we all wish him well, and there might be dissent, argument, and if somebody is doing something which the opposition feels is not right, we have every right to get that corrected, get that checked, and that is exactly what we were doing. But we are not vindictive. We cannot understand why these things are happening the way they are. And you just spoke about that video which has gone viral. And it's very important to talk about it today, because there he had said that I will, resign, but only in August 2027, subject to divine intervention. So that's the first point. If he was going to resign when he would be 75, he would complete the age of 75, where the BJP sends, or rather the Prime Minister and Mr. Amit Shah have been sending people into the Margdarshak Mandali. He was pointing to that. But the second point is, even more important, that the Prime Minister's non-post regarding his resignation, he could have been more gracious, more kind, because this was a man who was actually praising the government since 2014, but that didn't happen. He was speaking about the farmers, and for that he will always be respected, because the farmers' condition was something that the BJP was untouched by, but he spoke for them.
Okay.
Third point, there is going to be no farewell for him. Fourth point, Mr. JP Nadda yesterday actually said in Parliament that जो मैं कहूँगा वही record पे जाएगा, आप लोगों का कहा नहीं जाएगा, which is so shameful because it is the chair that decides on this. The most important point in the last one, which you mentioned about the Business Advisory Council, there was one meeting at 1 o'clock, 12:30 and then 4:30, and he had to postpone it to the next day because for the first meeting, Mr. Kiran Rijiju and Mr. JP Nadda were present. Second, they were not, and they did not inform.
So essentially, then your point, Sujata ji, is that the government humiliated, insulted the Vice President, who is also the chair of the Rajya Sabha. He felt angry, he felt insulted, which is why he put in his resignation, right? That is the crux of your argument. Here's what I don't understand. This was the man you were gunning for 6 months ago, calling him the most biased Rajya Sabha chairperson in the history of this country. I would have said you'd be happy if he had stepped down. Now you have conspiracy theories floating around. Give me a minute here. Give me a minute. JVC Sriram, you know, everything that happened yesterday night. But what said tongues wagging is also the Prime Minister's tweet. I'm going to read the Prime Minister's tweet. Now, this is a Prime Minister who's fairly effusive, right? And he's, especially when it's Twitter, especially when it's wishing someone good health or wishing them goodbye, he's very effusive in his words. This is what he puts out about Jagdeep Dhankhar. He says, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji has got many opportunities to serve our country in various capacities, including as the Vice President of India, wishing him good health. Cryptic, non-personal. Who would believe, after seeing this tweet, JVC Sriram, that it was not the Prime Minister himself who asked Mr. Dhankar to go?
Good evening, Shreya, and good evening to my fellow panelists. See, I don't want to get into speculation. It would be unfair on my part to speculate and give out anything. But all I would like to ask is, I am extremely appreciative of the gesture of the Congress spokesperson here, Mrs. Sujata Paul, who has come. She seems to be, appreciating and edifying Mr. Jagdeep Dhankhar. Wasn't it the opposition party which literally mocked him, abused him, and today's leader of opposition was taking a video outside the parliament, and the office of the Vice President of this country, the chairman of the Rajya Sabha, was mocked, was abused, was body shamed. I use this word with responsibility. Body shamed. Was this the same opposition party which wanted to bring an impeachment or no confidence motion against Mr. Dhankar?
Okay.
Would they disagree on that? Because I agree. Something must have happened, and you will come to know. In politics, as you rightly mentioned, Franklin Roosevelt said, nothing happens by accident, everything happens for a reason. We will come to know. Before we come to know, I don't want to jump the gun and draw conclusions. It will be unfair on my part.
But Mr. JVC Sriram, you too, like most of us, Mr. Sriram, you too, like most of us, don't believe it was for health reasons that Mr. Dhankar put in his papers. He was possibly asked to put in his papers.
So, see, that's what I'm saying. I do not want to speculate at this point in time, but unfortunately, Mr. Dhankar, I have two things. Mr. Dhankar had recently attended a Golden Jubilee function of a college institution, I think in Nainital, and he probably fell down and there was a first aid which was given. That was something. But at the same time, he also heard the same former Vice President saying that I will continue in my position till August 2027. So all I would like to say is, let's wait for some time. But opposition, to take this issue and say, edify Mr. Dhankar, 6 months, 8 months back, they are the ones who abused him, body shamed him, brought in a no confidence or an impeachment motion against him. Such an opposition party does not have the grace to speak what they're speaking today. And that's the point which I want to raise.
But many people can argue that there is no grace in asking a 74-year-old Vice President to quit before his term is over either, right? That is the other side of the argument that can be given. But Dr. Saeed Hafiz, essentially, well, as I said, the BJP has refused to speak on the topic officially. Clearly, they want to stay away from the rumor mills that have been churning in the last 24 hours. But the point of view seems to be this. This is the opposition that wanted to see Mr. Dhankar's back 6 months ago, because of which they brought in an impeachment motion. Now that he's gone, for whatever reason, whether it is health reasons or political reasons, why is the opposition, asking so many questions and creating a hue and cry and saying this is a political resignation?
So, just like JVC, even I don't want to speculate on what could have happened and what couldn't have happened. But I want to put the facts simple to the viewers that this government has been opaque. This is not the first of a kind of a resignation of a constitutional authority. You know, in the past, what happened with Ashok Lavasa? There is a last minute resignation. Election commissioner resigns in the last moment. Then comes the Arun Goyal. He was forced within a day. He was appointed as the election commissioner soon after resigning from the finance secretary. Then he comes within few months. He resigns from the post of election commission. So this government has a history. You cannot take this incident as an isolation. If you see it as an isolation, then you are going to be, you are going to miss the point. This government has categorically been opaque when it comes to resignation of constitutional authorities or statutory office of the statutory bodies. As JVC Sriram said, yes, we had problem with the way Dhankar functioned. There is no change in it. When somebody X does not, holds the office as he has to hold, there are going to be criticism, there are going to be charges. But just because we accused the Vice President 6 months back for being partial and for being non-partisan, that does not make us in a democracy to be mute when another opaque way of resignation is happening to the office of Vice President. So you cannot club saying 6 months back you said this and now you don't have the moral authority. In democracy, we have the right to voice out at any point about any issue. You cannot mix that. So I want to emphasize again that this is a continuation of how opaque this government is functioning, how opaque the resignations of higher authorities in this entire state machinery is happening. Hence, it is a continuation. And to the last point, as a medical doctor, to my limited knowledge, I know anybody who was fit, functioning at 7:30 cannot go at 9:30 and resign a job of Vice President, which is most protected, which has the highest medical facilities at his disposal, will resign citing a health reason.
So clearly it was not health reasons, Manish Baria. Fact also is, if you read the resignation letter that was posted on X at about 9:40 or so, it's very clear. It's very clear that he was being asked to leave because there was no explanation, just medical advice and health reasons. So I don't think anyone right now believes in the health reasons part of the resignation. But Manish Baria, here's my question to you. And this is the conspiracy theory, honestly, that is the one that has gained maximum traction. Yes, there was no love lost between Jagdeep Dhankhar and the opposition parties, but the relationship had evolved to a point where Jagdeep Dhankhar had actually, on the basis of 63 signatures from opposition MPs, moved a motion in the Rajya Sabha to impeach Justice Verma. Is that something that triggered and angered the government into saying, okay, Tata, bye-bye? That you kept us out of the loop? Please leave.
Good evening to you, Shreyaji, my co-panelists and all the viewers. I don't buy that story of Shreyaji at all, because who really was keen to bring in this entire motion against Justice Verma? It was always the government, isn't it? And therefore, I don't think...
therefore, did the government think that Mr. Dhankar was letting the opposition steal their thunder? Because the government had already because the government had already planned that they want the motion to be initiated in the Rajya Sabha and this to be a bipartisan motion.
I don't think that is that could be a reason for such a decision. This is very rare, and I feel because it is so rare, it has to be health reason. He had angioplasty very recently, and he recently, I think I was reading that he fainted. I think Mr. Sriram also alluded to that. So health could be because as a chairperson of Rajya Sabha, you require a lot of work to do. A lot of energy is required. And I think we should also respect the dignity of the Vice President himself. Now, if he says that health reason is the reason why I resigned, why should there be some other speculation about anything else? He did a wonderful job till what he did as a chairperson of Rajya Sabha, and I think we should remember him something like that. And that is what it should stop at.
Okay. You know, I do hope to God that Mr. Dhankar is absolutely fine. There is nothing serious with him. We don't want to trivialize this issue or this issue of health. But the fact is, to everyone who was watching Rajya Sabha proceedings on Monday, which was day one of the monsoon session, Mr. Manish Bariyar, fact is he was his jolly old self, jolly good self.
No,
doing what he does.
I saw that at some point of time, he was quite, low. In fact, somewhere around 4:30 or there's a video there where he was very, very low. So you cannot say that, he went through heart procedure, he fainted, he might not be feeling very well about it. The way it came, there's no doubt that it comes as a bit of, a shock and a surprise that the resignation came like this. But is it not important that the constitutional, the people, with due respect, they move on. Every position is replaceable. And what is more important is that the functioning of the chair, that continues. And I think, this has really taken too high a proportion.
The Constitution takes care of that. The functioning of the Rajya Sabha will not be impacted even for a single second with the resignation, because the line of succession is very clear. For the moment, the deputy chairperson takes over as he has taken over today. Sujata Paul, I see you wanting to say something. I think you want to respond to Mr. Bariyar. Go ahead, please.
Yes, very important to understand that the argument that I'm hearing is why question Vice President Dhankar on a certain issue and then ask questions on why he's being made to resign. The fact is that we still live in a democracy, and whenever there is something wrong, we have every right to question. That's how our democracy works. BJP doesn't understand this, and that is why I can understand two panelists bringing up this issue. However, very important that Mr. Satpal Malik was also made governor by this very government, and when he started speaking against the government never spoke one word against him. If you remember, Mr. Subramaniam Swamy till date speaks against the Prime Minister, and nobody will refute it. So that means it's a clear gag order which has been passed that you are not going to speak about them. That's why they haven't appeared on your debate also. However, if something wrong happens in this democracy with anyone who might be opposing us or who we might have been opposing, we will ask the relevant questions.
Okay, but Mr. Dhankar always has been my way or the highway kind of guy. He took on Mamata Banerjee when he was the governor of West Bengal. He has, accused the judiciary of overreach multiple times. So he's a guy who's not scared of a confrontation. Was this a confrontation with the government in the making, because of which he had to pay the price? We do not know, everything in the realm of speculation. But as I said, JVC, that is the number one conspiracy theory going around. The number two theory is, and very quickly, JVC, I want you to come in here. Doesn't sound very probable, but it is something in the air, which is why I'm putting it out there. The fact that the government wants to vacate the post of vice president because they want to give it to Nitish Kumar, who they want to move out of Bihar for obvious health reasons. And those health reasons are much more apparent than Mr. Dhankar's health reasons. And Mr. Harivansh ji, who is currently in the deputy chair, he's from Bihar. So the optics are great ahead of the Bihar elections.
See, I think, that's what I said. I do not want to speculate. It's not the time for speculation. We'll come to know. We'll come to know what's happening. But at the same time, I want to tell Mr. Sujata Paul that the very fact that Mr. Modi has been tolerant and kept quiet against somebody as rabid as Dr. Subramanian Swamy shows his tolerance, and Rahul Gandhi reacts to everything, that shows how intolerant he is. That's the difference.
So much tolerance they have shown for Shashi Tharoor. Look at what all he says, and yet he continues to be in the Congress party.
He continues to be in the Congress party, but what has Kerala Congress has told? Kerala Congress has given a gag order yesterday that he is not invited to any of the meetings. Kerala Congress, K. Muralidharan has said yesterday that he is not one among us. Note this word, Shreya. He is not He is not one among us. So he is already been discarded.
Shifted the goalpost from Rahul Gandhi to Kerala Congress.
Everything na, JVC, everything cannot be about Rahul Gandhi. Yeah? Let's leave him out once in a while. I mean, there is a question that my producer wants to know. Sujata Di, this is for you. This is full conspiracy theory. Will Rahul Gandhi ji go and meet Mr. Dhankar, given that he is unwell and given the fact that he has now resigned, despite whatever differences they may have had in the past?
See, as far as Mr. Dhankar is concerned, he has been meeting him. At the Business Advisory Council, the Congress party members were also there. And of course, we are always with people in the country. Like you say in Hindi, matbhed hota hai, manbhed nahi hota. It is a different matter that G2 of the BJP, they don't believe in, keeping the opposition on board. They expect a divide to exist. But in our case, it's not like that. If there is somewhere where the Prime Minister would want us, we would be there too. And we wanted the Prime Minister to attend the all-party meet after the Pahalgam attack. Remember, he didn't appear. Rahul Gandhi ji wanted him there also. He wanted to meet him also.
We will leave it there. Today it is about Mr. Dhankar, so we'll keep it there. All of you have said you don't want to speculate, but ladies and gentlemen, in the last 24 hours, all we have had is speculation because of the rather dramatic surprise exit of Mr. Dhankar from Parliament. Now, what is the real reason? No one knows. Either God knows, or Mr. Modi knows, or Mr. Dhankar knows. But it was our job to talk about it, since everyone was talking about it and was keen to know what the theories are. We've done that. We let our viewers, as always, decide what they think is best. Thank you very much, Sujata Paul, for joining us. Dr. Syed Hafiz, thank you very much. JVC Sriram, thanks. And Manish, good to have you on the show. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, a break. There's lots more news on the other side. Do stay with us.